Hello everyone, this is Everything Horror, where we love to talk about everything horror. And in this video, we are going to be talking about The Unholy. The Unholy is about a hearing impaired girl who is supposedly visited by the Virgin Mary. And after this, she gains the ability to hear and speak, and it's called a miracle. But as horrific events occur, are these the result of the Virgin Mary? Or are there sinister forces in play? Alright, you guys, The Unholy is directed by Evan Spilatopoulos. It stars Jeffery Dean Morgan, Cricket Brown, and Carrie Elwes is in here, which I was totally surprised by. So let's go ahead and start off with the positives. I really like Jeffery Dean Morgan in this movie. He is pretty much the highlight of the film, even though in the film he uses those same mannerisms like in The Walking Dead as Negan. You just can't help but support the guy. He just pretty much brings validity to the film. I like the premise, even though we have seen this done before, a la Supernatural, which is funny because he was also on that show. I actually think they did it better than this actual film. But the premise is always fun, somebody that has the ability to heal people, but is it the work of God or is it the work of something else? It's always been a cool premise, and I think the film falls short with this premise because there was a million other ways you could have gone, but they decided to settle for something else. But let's put on the brakes. We're not at the negatives yet. I also really like Cricket Brown. She was really good. She played Alice in the film, who was hearing impaired and could not speak. And she actually had this purity type of feeling in her role. She has this one scene at the pretty much the tail end of the film that I thought was really good, where things were happening. She had a large speech at the end. I thought she was very good. I also felt like giving my soul. Now, with all that being said, we're going to get into the negatives now. This film just really falls short. You really start not to give a crap halfway through the film because you know exactly where this is going. There are some scenes that are pretty cool, but there are some scenes that are repetitive. And they actually have almost a shot-for-shot scene that plays out twice in the film. I could not believe my eyes. It's the scene where Jeffrey Morgan is walking in the motel. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought that was so weird. I don't know if it was just laziness or they were running out of ideas. Very strange. And it just feels like this is another film where they just, where they tried to come up with scares in the movie and just wrap around scenes for it. There was a bunch of jump scares. Some of them were okay, but most of them were just tiresome. There was one that got me, but just because you got me doesn't mean that I was actually scared. This film definitely lacks dread, tension, because you just feel like you know exactly where this is going to go. And I'm not really surprised because Evan, the director, he's a pretty versed director. He's been around for a bit, but he hasn't done a horror film. This is his first horror film, and it definitely shows. Alright, so now we're going to get into the entity itself. As far as the look of it, it's just very uninspired. It reminded me a lot of the entity in Darkness Falls with the doll face, the cloak, everything. It just felt very uninspired. There was some parts where it was kind of creepy, but overall just wasn't really scary. I'm going to get into a little bit of spoilers in regards to this entity, so if you want to skip ahead, go right ahead. This is the time plate here. Alright, now so hopefully if you didn't want to hear about it, you skipped ahead. In regards to the entity, it goes by the name of Mary, and then we realize in the beginning that that was Mary getting a mask hammered into her head and hung and burned alive. What we find out is that she was worshiping the devil, performing healings, and now she's back and using her bloodline in order to perform these healings and have them worship her. Now, in the beginning, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, which I thought was pretty neat, he unknowingly, but also knowingly, destroys this doll, and that's what unleashes this entity. And I thought that was pretty neat, but also kind of dumb. But what happens is, in order to stop her, they have to stop the bloodline. So that means that essentially Alice would have to die. And she does die, but she also comes back to life. But to me, that did not make any sense, because by that logic, Mary would still be alive then. I don't know, that whole lore for Mary, the entity, just did not make any sense to me. Am I missing anything here? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought in regards to that. Did I miss something? Let me know. But yeah, you guys, those were my thoughts on The Unholy. Let me know what you guys thought of the film down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? My official rating for The Unholy is going to be 2 bleeding statues out of 5. Alright, you guys, I hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe. Anyways, this is Everything Horror, where we love to talk about everything horror. Take care, peeps.